What's up, guys? Matt Brown here, ForTheLines.com. Let's talk some Monday Night Football. Eagles at the Seahawks. As you know, everything we do here on the channel, absolutely free. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. Do appreciate it. Also, shout out to Stephen and Adam for filling in for me last week. Had an award show that I was doing. So do appreciate those guys popping in here and helping me out with everything. Guys, trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by the Super Bowl. We're going to do a big giveaway if we can do that. So just hit the subscribe button. If you are a subscriber, you're eligible. So here we are, 3.5 in favor of the Eagles right now on the road at the Seahawks. If we look at the total, we're sitting 45 pretty much across the board. So guys, here's the deal with this. So I held off as long as I could to record this because we don't have any definitive quarterback news, and we still don't have any definitive quarterback news. All I can do is kind of read here to you the news that's kind of coming out. It says I'm told Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts is going to try and play tonight. Started feeling ill on Thursday, had the normal fever, chills, and body aches. So, anytime we see a guy get downgraded on the injury report, he gets downgraded to questionable. It's never good. It's a sickness, though, as opposed to an injury. So, it's one of those deals where he can try and gut it out, right? Then it leaves this mystery to us as to how sick is he? How much is this going to affect him? Is this going to affect play calling? What is his stamina going to be like? There's just so much here that plays into him playing with an illness as opposed to us just being able to kind of handicap the injury type of everything. On the Seattle side of everything, it's looking like it's going to be Drew Lock again, but it's not confirmed. So it's still up in the air. Most people think it's going to be Drew Lock, but it could be Geno. So that's why we sit where we sit with the number and with this total. I was fortunate enough to get in on the total earlier and play the under. I would still play the under at 45. I mean, here's the thing. So Hurts goes, but he's compromised, or they have to go with Marcus Mariota. Either scenario doesn't seem great for Philadelphia in this. And then on the other side, if it's Drew Lock, he's not complete garbage. He's not a complete dumpster fire, but he's not good by any stretch of the imagination. And I understand that Philadelphia's secondary has been very weak. You lose Darius Slay, that doesn't help either. But is Drew Lock the dude that's going to be able to really maximize the inefficiencies in the secondary for Philadelphia? That's kind of what we have to ask ourselves in all of this. My answer to that is no. The other thing that goes into this play and other thing that goes into this handicap as at a look at the under is if Hurts plays, which I have a feeling he's at least going to give it a go, right? Hydrate him up, give him some IVs, whatever it is, he's going to try to give it a go. But are we going to get what version of Hurts are we going to get? Probably the one where they don't use him as much, right? Probably slow the game down, use a ton of the play clock, run the ball more, do all of those things, higher percentage throws, shorter routes, because we're not, if he's not fully healthy, we don't want to extend these deals where he might be having to try to scramble and stuff. So anyway, this is a lot of assumption stuff going into all of this, but it's, I think could be a lot of truth to it as well. I'll scroll down here. You can kind of get some of the other thoughts from the guys on the site. But, on the Seattle side of things, there's another reason why I kind of like the under. It's the fact that the path of least resistance against Seattle is their run defense. Their run defense EPA given up this season is 30th in the NFL. Their run defense success rate given up is 25th overall in the NFL. If you look, it's a team in which with Philadelphia, they run the ball well anyway. And then not only they run the ball well, but if Hurts is compromised, path of least resistance on the road, on a little bit of a slide here. So maybe you just try and do what you do best and attack what the defense does worst type of situation. So that's kind of where we are with all of this. Now, if I think that that's going to be the case, I'm going to tell the story through a prop as well. Guys, player prop tool right here on the homepage. Be sure and take advantage of it so that you know that you're getting the best number on everything. So if that's the case, then I'm going to look at DeAndre Swift and, oh, holy hell, this number has been on the move. Okay, well, some people are thinking the same thing that I am as well. This is 56.5 this morning, so earlier this morning. So three yards that this thing has moved. So it's still playable. I have my projection on him is, given the fact that I think that there's going to be extra carries involved in all of this or whatever. So I have him at 66.5 yards. So it was better at 56, obviously, than it is at 59, but I still have an advantage there. And also, here's the other deal. I might have been being a little conservative because if we do get Hurts and we get a compromised Hurts and like maybe all of the designed runs, or when I say designed runs, like the actual runs, not the tush push, he'll still do the tush push, but the 3 to 4 to 5 designed runs, if those get removed from the play calling sheet today, then Swift could actually get another extra 2 or 3 carries, and then obviously my projection would then skew higher than it is right now. So I do like Swift over on his rushing yards because of the narrative that I've given you about how I think that the game is going to go as well. The other thing, since it is looking like Drew Lock just targeted the hell out of JSN last week. And so I really like JSN here over on his yards, or, I mean, if you want to look at receptions, 3.5, even however you want to go about it, maybe a sprinkle on both. But I expect JSN to be getting a decent amount of the shorter targets in this. And listen, if you're Seattle, you probably want to hide Drew Lock as much as humanly possible. Like, you still want to attack the Eagles secondary because it's not any good, but do you want Drew Lock throwing it, 25 yards down the field to DK Metcalf? Probably not, right? And so JSN, his role has increased mightily over the last month of the season, as it is anyway. And you start to see that with Drew Lock last week too, that the routes that JSN runs seems to be also routes that he feels comfortable throwing to, and was targeted a ton. So I do like the JSN stuff. If you want to do receptions, if you want to do receiving yards, maybe you want to do both. Something that we could look at as well. Certainly, if you're putting together a same game parlay or something like that, you can kind of add in all the things that I've said so far into a same game parlay and get a nice little payout as well with all of that. But if you look kind of how we're projecting, this game to go, if we get Hurts. Now, I still, if we get Geno, I still like the JSN stuff, but again, some of this comes into the handicap that it's going to be Lock, and Lock showed affinity throwing to him last week. There could be a scenario that Geno goes, and then Geno Geno will push it down the field to Metcalf and to Lockett and all that. So there is a chance in which this handicap is at least a tiny bit compromised if that's the case, but it seems like it's going to be Lock, and if that's the case, I do like that. I have Jackson Smith and Jigba just under 45 yards actually with this, so a decent edge there in that one. And then again, if it is Mariota, if Hurts doesn't go, I think even more than it leans into the Swift narrative, right? I mean, if you're the Eagles, you certainly are not going to have Mariota throwing the ball all over the yard. And so even more of a lean into the Swift overs, given the game plan that I think could play out there. And then also trying to hide Mariota, should that be the case in this one as well. Guys, everything we do, absolutely free. So go ahead, again, like I said, hit that subscribe button. Let us know in the comment section how you're going to play this thing. And you can look, there's all kinds of different articles over here talking about all the different ways to bet this one. So be sure and take advantage of that. And then up here, right corner, that is the Discord. We'll be talking about this all the way up to kickoff as well. Maybe as the confirmation comes out, as we're definitely going to get Hurts or definitely going to get, Geno or Lock or whatever it might be. You can certainly get some thoughts from people over there as well. Good luck on all your Monday Night Football bets.